Today, I embark on every nerd's dream, and I will be building a new fucking computer. This is gonna take a while. It's already taken way too long for me to get started on this. It's already like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, but we're just gonna do it. And I got a video build guide behind me, so let's get this started.
All right, because I'm feeling extra and got a little free time, I thought I'd do a little bit of voicing over for this. And just to also explain any time that I kind of walk away or stuff like that. Like in this instance, I had to go and grab my old computer so I could grab some parts out of it to put into my new machine. But then you also see once I change the camera that I go and watch like something on the TV. That's not me getting distracted. It's just a Linus Tech Tips video that I have in the background. Really suggest their video. It honestly helped me build my first computer, the one that you can see on the desk right there. And it's just been a really good time. But this first part is me just kind of getting the motherboard prepped, making sure that everything's going to be good. And then you'll see in a little bit me transition into the first like pre-test of me turning it on. Alright, so at this point we've made it to the pre-test. The motherboard is almost fully set up and functional. I got my CPU fan on there as well. I'm going to be going through here, working on the BIOS and stuff to make sure that everything's connected properly and is running. And then from there we'll be moving the motherboard with this, the power supply, all of that stuff is going to be starting to fit in the case, and then I'll be putting in the motherboard. But just getting one more look at this, I have two SSDs. This one right here, and then another one under this one right here. So that's gonna end up being 2 terabytes of space. 2 terabytes of space. We're gonna be working on that, which will be nice. And then I also have an HDD that's gonna give me another 2 terabytes. So got a lot of storage for this computer, but I'm gonna be messing around with this for a little bit. I know it's like a dumb thing to like get like geeked out about, but like the fact that like this can act as a power button, I think it's so fucking cool. I'm sorry. But with that is the test run over, and now we're gonna start moving on to getting everything in the case. We're making progress. She's standing upright. Got some of the main cables in. Only thing that's really left is we have to hook up the GPU, and then from there we just got to plug all of it into the power supply, plug this hard disk, or screw this hard disk into the thing and plug this in, and then connect some other cords that are kind of important and get the lights working, and then boom, we can give it a first actual full-on power on. So another thing I forgot to mention while I was like kind of talking in the video and everything was how hard or how much I was doing to make sure that like my cable management problem at the end was going to be mitigated to like the best of my ability. You can kind of see it on the back of the computer right there. There's a lot of stuff that like already came pre like zip tied together, which I definitely really appreciated. But one of the biggest parts of this build was definitely making sure that all the cables are in the right spot. One of the best ways though that I was able to kind of make sure my cable management was under control the whole time was I had a modular power supply. So all the cords that were going to be plugging into it at the end of all this actually came off, which I knew was a thing. Like I've never ran into a power supply that didn't or like had all the cords connected already, but it's something that I've definitely really appreciated, since for this build I do have a little bit of a smaller case compared to my old computer. But being able to plug everything in and then fish the wires through and then be able to connect it to the power supply definitely made things a lot nicer and a lot smoother when I was trying to stick everything together. last things that I have to do before I start plugging everything in is actually getting the hard disk drive that I mentioned earlier into the case, which you'll see me realize soon here is going to be a little bit of a less straightforward process than I thought. Give you a little rotation action. Seeing everything that's going on in the back right now. Brutal. But now we're just gonna slide you out. Unless you're screwed in. Oh my god, it's screwed in. That sucks. This is gonna be a pain. Fuck. I just thought about how like this needs to stay. Oh fuck. Fuck. Alright. So one of the last real challenges that I had with this build was honestly with the case itself. So you can kind of see on the back of the computer this like black like blocked centipede things together. These are daisy chained Molex connectors, which are really old connections that are like 4 or 5, I think they're 5 volts that they use to install all the different fans that are already pre-installed into the case. I did have, or my power supply did come with an adapter from Molex to SATA, which I was able to take advantage of, but it took me a really long time to figure out that that's what I needed to use. So you kind of just see me here looking at my motherboard, trying to figure out where I can actually like plug what was basically a SATA slot into the motherboard. But after a lot of Googling and figuring it all out, I was able to actually realize that it does go into the power supply and not the motherboard, which could have been really bad. The issue has been figured out. It's not that, where did it even go? It's not that it's supposed to go into the motherboard. It actually goes into the SATA slot that I have here. So I was just being dumb, which is fine. I would much rather that than me just try to slam it into somewhere on my motherboard. Now for some of the final few beasts of this actual build, cable management hell. Everyone who talks about it hates it, and there's a valid reason for that. It genuinely just sucks, but this is kind of me taking my crack at it right here. I'm plugging in everything first. That's me plugging in my PCI slot for my graphics card. And now you can see me awkwardly trying to fish everything through, making sure that all the cords that need to be inside the actual like inner part of the case are there. And then you'll see me slowly try to slip the power supply in. Honestly, some pretty tight fits in there. Genuinely didn't know if it was going to work for a little bit, but finally I get it to sink in, and then I finally add the graphics card, the part that everyone's like really, the part that really makes the build, which was definitely the easiest part of this whole thing. But then after that, we give it one more final boot and we're all set to go.
And now for the final portion. You can see me get a little excited right here.
Hey!
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a really long history with not getting these things to work on the first time. So actually getting it to turn on and then eventually show the BIOS screen.
Boots. Got a speaker noise. Yes. Okay, it's going to the... Hey!
Yeah, this honestly felt a lot better than it probably should have, but get really excited to have it all working on the first time, trying to like show it off right here and everything. And now we finally get to go into the last actual like software part of all of this.
But this is good. This is a good spot to be. This is a great spot to be, honestly. All right, we're gonna keep watching the video, but this is... These are spinning. They're all spinning. This is a great spot to be.
All right, so now it's officially the next morning. After spending a lot of time last night getting all of this to actually turn on, I did get a successful boot, which I don't know if I took a video of, but one of the main issues that I was having last night was that I couldn't actually get the Windows 11 setup to work properly. Now, we clearly have it going now. I didn't take any like videos or anything of it because it was a lot of me like yelling and screaming of like, why won't this work? But after a lot of trial and error, going to the library and asking them like what they thought and all of that, I was able to fix it. So I wildly misunderstood what the actual issue with this part of the build was and how to actually fix it. Originally, I thought it was a problem with like I was just using an old generation USB stick to actually install the drivers and everything. But after looking into it a lot off camera and actually right before I recorded this clip, the actual issue was that I needed to update a lot of the drivers on my motherboard. And because I had a Mac laptop, I didn't really have a reliable way to put those drivers onto my USB stick, which ended up me doing this whole run around. I had to go to the library, get a Windows machine so that I could actually copy the files to the USB stick so that I could actually use those when I would boot. It would actually have like everything, or the motherboard would update itself, making it actually run the Windows 11 setup. So I don't know why I thought it was a problem with the actual generation of the stick, but either way, it got fixed and we're able to continue moving on. And then after a bunch of different resets and installing a lot of drivers onto the USB, we were able to get it to work properly. So now we're just gonna finish up the setup and start loading some games.
But yeah, so now after a lot of trial and error, going back and forth with some of the software, I'm finally at the point where I'm going to be doing all the Windows updates and finishing this bad boy up. But yeah, it's been a long journey. Definitely took way longer than I thought it was going to, but this already feels way more rewarding than a lot of the other builds that I've done in the past. So feeling good, really happy with how this turned out, and I can't wait to get started like really using this thing. And just for funsies, we got one last look for you, all like perfectly set up. All the cables are connected. You can see my shitty cable management behind my desk as I kind of move up here, but it runs great, man. It runs so smooth. Every game that I've like launched it with it's taken it like a champ. It's everything I could have really wanted. So I'm really, really excited with how this came out. You can see me give a little thumbs up, but yeah, that's all she wrote, man. This was a bitch.